What's up, E?
What's going on, bro? Tough week for parents, for fathers, for the
The
country.
nation. Yeah.
You know, um, yep.
Yeah, it's
Another
rough.
mass shooting. Innocent kids um, murdered, and I think it also goes to say that, in perspective, also while we mourn the loss of what's happened recently, that there's kids dying around the world in Ukraine or in Palestine or whatever. And I think that we as Americans, when we feel what we feel, we should realize that this is happening around the world. But bringing it back home for ourselves, to think that this ultimate safety is for our kids in school, and that you drop off your kid, and you might imagine if one of these parents got into a little argument or got mad at their kid right before.
Oh,
The kid had a meltdown. Imagine anything like that. Like it's so scary. Now every time you drop off your kid, or whatever, you leave the house and you get into the little spat with your child, and to think that something that drastic and crazy could happen.
and you never get to see them again.
Insane.
Yeah, bro. Um, like the news doesn't typically affect me, right? Like, I mean, you hear shit, you kind of react to it in the moment, but it doesn't necessarily always linger unless it's like super deep. But like, as fucked up as it sounds, like, I'm almost numb to mass shootings because they happen way more frequently than I think they should in this country. But this one, man, the fact that, I mean, the basics, right? Like, it's a bunch of kids, small children at the hand of another child for the most part, right? Like,
Right. A teenager, right?
it's it's mind boggling, and I haven't been able to let it go. And not that I'm trying to let it go, and there's just
But we
so.
shouldn't. We
Oh, we
shouldn't as a
shouldn't.
society. We shouldn't let it go. And we
Shouldn't.
spoke on live yesterday for a
Yeah.
second
No,
on IG, and I was telling you, like, for me, just to put myself in like the brains of those innocent kids, when whatever happened, right before whatever happened was going to happen to them. Like, imagine the fear that these kids had. I saw I mean, I don't even want to recite things that I'm seeing on social media, to be honest with you. Like, there's so much stuff swirling around. There's a lot of political agendas being attached to this. There's fear and anger, which is it's rightfully so. But at the end of the day, innocent children lost their lives for no fucking reason whatsoever.
yep.
And it happens way too often. And whether it's a mass shooting in an elementary school, or it's a kid who gets shot accidentally in a drive-by in the hood, or anywhere, or domestic abuse where a parent kills, murder suicide. At the end of the day, man, I don't understand the type of, there's no other word to say but evil, the type of evil that would choose to target innocent young children who haven't been able to live their lives.
Yeah.
And fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck the evil that would do that,
Yeah.
Like, you want to do a mass shooting, to any mass shooter out there, potential mass shooter, take your ass to the police station or take your ass to a military base where they're gonna shoot back. You brave, you tough, you angry, you got a gripe. Go somewhere where you can let it out, and you fight it out. Go do your macho shit, and do it to someone that's gonna shoot back. Go to the hood, even. You want to go pick fucking go to a gang neighborhood and shoot it out. Like, don't fucking go to unsuspecting kids who are just in school trying a regular day for themselves, who have a loving family that are waiting to pick them up after school. Like, it's insane, bro. Fucking insane.
Yeah. It's out of control, bro. Um. So Kay's not with us today. Kay's handling some dad business. So we miss you, Kay. Hopefully we'll see you soon. You were on a bit of a mission in the last few weeks. I don't know how much we can get into what destination you went to, but you missed an episode with us. Kay and I were flying solo that day. Speaking of flying, you happened to be flying when you were out of here. You want to talk a little bit about what that trip was like? Is it too soon?
No, but I don't think you guys recorded on that Wednesday.
Yeah, we recorded. You were out. You were on a private jet around that time.
Right. So
it wasn't last week. It was a couple weeks ago. Whenever that was.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I mean the cat's out of the bag, sort of say, where we posted clips, so it's not anything to hide. I don't know when this airs or when we're not sure when we're going to release the episode. But yeah, man, I went for my daughter's birthday. We took the kids to Disney World in Orlando. It was our first road trip of that kind. First experience where we all sleep in a hotel room together. Might have done it with my daughter when she was younger.
And your daughter is 4.
No, she just turned 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah. And my son is about to be 2.
2. Yeah. Okay.
So, that I had a lot of anxiety around that trip to start with. And for the most part, it went all right. It was stressful. There was
moments.
My daughter couldn't sleep in the room. Like, although I'm like, oh, it's going to be like we're camping together, She was like, can you take me home to go to sleep in my bed?
It was like that.
Oh, yeah. The first night was bonkers. We had a crib that the hotel provided for my son.
Yep.
The sofa turned into a bed that we had my daughter on. And
you
we had two.
You were at a Disney resort.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. And then we had
that game is serious over there. I like that.
Right. And we decided to get 2 separate beds with the idea that we might have one kid in each bed with us.
Damn.
Separately.
Okay.
So we got 2 beds, sofa bed, the crib. First, the baby, my son, he was like not having the crib. The crib looked like it came out of the 1930s from an orphanage, bro.
Oh, snap.
Stand up. It was like a metal, one of those ones that you see in the movies that they, like it was just wild, It looked mad uncomfortable. But
it's kind of strange because it's Disney. They usually like do a better job about stuff.
But this resort is one of their oldest ones. I think it's like 50 years old.
Okay.
They're celebrating their 50th, and I think it's one of the first resorts. Although they've updated the hotel, still felt a little old, and I'm sure a lot of the stuff they had is still old.
Got it.
So I just think us being in the room, he wasn't with that, because if we're there, he wants to be with us. At home, we put him in the room in his crib and we close the door, and he'll cry a little bit and then fall asleep. But if he's seeing us, he's going to want to be with us. So that was the first thing. He started crying. He wasn't having it. My girl took him out, and he fell asleep with her in the bed. Okay. Then my daughter is like getting up, going, coming over to my bed, tapping me, standing there just looking at me crazy, then going to her mom, then she's whining. She wasn't having it. So I tried to get her to sleep with me. She slept a little bit, but then she couldn't sleep. Like, this is all like new to her.
Yeah.
She's never slept in the bed with us. We've never done that with her. So the next day, you best believe I went to Instacart and got kids melatonin.
The lollipops?
No. I looked for lollipops. They couldn't get the lollipops, but they had.
He said,
They had the chewable joints. That's actually less melatonin than the lollipops, but the chewable just seemed like the company wasn't like one of these organic whatever's. But whatever.
Yeah,
I got it. We had that full day. It was her birthday. Full day at Disney. Hot as hell. It was a little crazy. There was some meltdowns, but for the most part, I would say it went a lot better than I thought it would go.
Okay. Good.
And we survived it. Get back. But I'm like, bro, we need to sleep tonight, because I had to drive back the next day.
Yeah.
And mind you, the night before we slept about 3 hours total because of all the antics.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the full day of Disney World. I was exhausted, man.
Wait, you guys left right after that full day, or did you spend the night?
No, we got that. We arrived one day, drove in, and took that afternoon and evening. We went to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
And then that night, that's when the sleep wasn't well. The next day, which was her birthday, the full day at Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
Then that night is when I got the melatonin because we were sleeping.
Oh, got it.
The next day we were gonna drive back.
Got it.
So I got the melatonin, took it, and she got it. Now she, I guess, plus she's tired from the day, and she understood now. Okay, you're gonna sleep. You either sleep with mommy or daddy. She picked to sleep with me. Boom, and she fell asleep, and she knocked out, and it was a good night's sleep pretty much for everybody. And then we wake up, have breakfast, and on the way back. So during that trip, there's conversations about Dave Chappelle and Black Star.
Okay.
Black Star and with potentially Dave Chappelle being involved for Drink Champs. And I'm telling the guys, the team, I'm like, oh man, I'm here. I'm in Disney World. I can't do anything. Y'all go handle that if you need to. Long story short, I'm driving back. They're like, hey man, tomorrow you ready to jump on a plane and head over to Ohio?
Hold on, real quick. Just kudos to you because you were about to. I mean, you did. You were like, yo, I'm gonna stay here because this is my family time.
Of course.
And if y'all got to make something historic happen with Dave Chappelle and Black Star, God bless.
And that's going to be the case every time for me.
As it should be. I mean, we do this podcast because we are very much involved in our kids' lives, more so than anything else. This is number one.
Right.
But sometimes in situations like that, I think your average person, I guess you can't really put an average person in those shoes. But, you have an opportunity like that is, I mean, it's a big opportunity. And some people might just say, you know what, I'm going to have to take a time out here and go do that. And kudos for you because sometimes that shit could be difficult.
Right. And I mean, look, I'm not in to each their own, but
yeah.
For me, like to organize a trip like this, it's my daughter's birthday. Like, I'm not going to drop everything and inconvenience my family and ruin my daughter's birthday. Sorry, it's just not going to happen. My priorities are different now in life. Of course I want to, it goes without saying, of course I want to sit down and have a historical conversation with Black Star and Dave Chappelle, but if it can't happen, it can't happen. And my kids are more important, period.
Yep.
But I get back and it worked out, and they're like, hey, are you going to be in town tomorrow, ready to jump on a plane? We're going to get a private joint to get to Ohio so we can make it happen. And I'm like, fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be ready.
You were like, did you say private? Yeah. I'm in.
And I'm not, and no fronting. I've never taken a private plane. A private jet.
How was that?
It was dope. Just that alone. Take away everything else.
How did it smell?
It smelled like a new car, even though I don't think it was the newest jets, like G7 or whatever it was. But it was dope. Like it was dope. It was dope. It was, the clean plane, private, comfortable,
flight attendant,
private stewardess, flight attendant. The meals were catered, that they had like good meals, they had snacks galore. I was like, I'm one of those people that, I take it, like if it's like a situation where normally, like, let's say I wouldn't eat, even if the snacks were available, I wouldn't eat them just because, I'm not gonna eat all that crap.
Right.
But because I'm in this situation, I'm like, I'm eating all these fucking snacks.
You're putting all of them joints in your fly that bag.
Like, I don't eat chocolate necessarily. Like, I don't hate chocolate, but that's not my go-to for something.
Right.
They had chocolates, I'm eating chocolates. They had Cheetos, I'm eating Cheetos. They had Doritos, I mean all that shit, bro. It's just all there. I'm taking all that shit because I'm gonna really take in this full-on private plane experience. They had a meal, boom. Usually I don't even eat on planes, like their meals, and I'm like, meal, boom, let's do it. Whatever, everything. Drinks, let's go. And shout out to the flight attendant. She was dope. She took care of us. The pilots. Actually, the owner of the plane was one of the pilots.
Oh wow!
And it's funny. Fun fact that our management told us mid-flight. Our management realized we were flying into the wrong airport.
Oh,
which would have put us 4 hours away from where we needed to be, which would have probably screwed everything up.
Wow! How did they pick that up though?
Because when the car service for us was being arranged to pick us up at the airport, which was a private little airport. They realized it was a different address.
Oh, snap.
And then they had to get the information to the pilots mid-flight. The pilots were like, well, we don't know. We have to call this airport and see if they'll let us land.
Yeah.
And it's a small airport in a small town. our plane was one of the larger private jets.
Oh,
They might not be able to accommodate us on the landing strip.
oof.
But everybody was like, if this is Dave Chappelle's area, I'm sure he flies his whatever planes in there.
Right.
So that's what it was. We land in there, and it was a full on experience, bro. From the moment we get there, although it's not Dave Chappelle's airport per se, he's like this, like
He's the guy.
the pseudo mayor of the town, and
Right.
you get in there, you start to see the sea pop up in like in the main street, like in businesses. I'm like, I guess he owns that. I guess he owns that.
Oh, wow.
And then we get to a shack on the side of the road. It looked like a farm shack where farming equipment would be. It's like a rusted metal shack. And they're like, yeah, this is where you're supposed to be at. We were like, okay, we opened the door, and the whole inside shack, part of the shack, was retrofitted into a dope ass man cave with a bar. He had podcast equipment, he had DJ equipment, he had all these pictures on the wall with him and a bunch of celebrities. And it was his man cave and a fully
Wow.
stocked bar and like camera equipment and stuff. And then it's Dave there at the bar. He's like, "What's up, fellas?" And we're like, "Oh shit!"
Just mad casual.
Mad casual. And then and then we filmed with Black Star, Talib and Mos Def. Their album is dope as fuck.
So you got it.
Yeah, and then Dave jumped in. We weren't 100% sure he was going to be on the episode, not be on the episode, and sure enough jumped into it a bunch of times. And he was our host. He was a gracious host. It was a surreal experience, man, down to like the ending where we had to leave at a certain time because the private plane, we had a certain amount of time with it, and the plane had to get back for another international flight in Miami by a certain time. And we had gotten to the plane late to start with. So they were like, you're on a time table. You got to get back. Time limit. So we wrap up. We're getting, Dave's like got a DJ rolling up. He's like, start playing music. And he's got a local burger joint servicing us burgers, vegan burgers, regular burgers, whatever. He's like food for everybody. He's giving us like go away like trinkets and like gifts and stuff. Like I got this Dave Chappelle little like Bluetooth speaker that looks like a beeper.
Yeah, I peeped it.
And shot glasses and all this stuff. And yeah, man. And he was even like, nah, just stay, blah, 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 whatever. It was like, hang out. It was super dope, man. It was a super dope, surreal experience. One for, to tell the grandkids. And then we got back, and, I went from leaving that afternoon to walking back to my crib, being dropped off at like 2 a.m. And I'm just like, damn, bro, did that just happen?
And then you just came off another, it's just back-to-back trips.
For sure. And then the week before that, we were in Colorado at Red Rocks.
That's right.
Which actually was going to be the first. I don't know if I told you this in Colorado because you were there, but that was the beginning conversation of us potentially flying out to the Hollywood Bowl where that incident happened.
Oh, today. I didn't know about that.
I never told you that? Yeah, that came up for us to fly in that day, which was the day we were in Red Rocks. And I said, I can't do it. And that was another incident where I was like, I was already committed to something. And I was like, I'm not gonna, I can't do that. I can't go to that.
Wow. So it would have been at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah, it would have been when we would have been present when that whole incident happened.
So it might have been you and Jon Stewart knuckling up and breaking that dude's arm.
Jon Stewart jumped into it?
I don't think he actually punched anybody, but I think Dave clowned about potentially Jon Stewart getting involved. Damn. Yeah, that's a wild few days, bro. But circling back to like, because I know we've talked about this many times, but you being away from your family is still something that you struggle with, right? Yeah. And I think all of us, especially just the timing of you having your kids, the pandemic, all that wrapped into one, has caused for you, because it's so early in their lives, such a discomfort. Pain is really what it is at the end of the day. I could relate to some degree, but I had years before where I was able to manage traveling without the circumstance of the pandemic. And so there's I think still for me, there's some built up opportunity, like understanding from my kids, all of them.
You have credits?
Yeah, exactly. I have some credits, but it still pains me. I get over it, I think, a lot smoother than you do. But at the very beginning, it's like hard. So like you were with your family in Disney. You had, the sleepless night, the whole day, and the anxiety around being there. And then you go off to do Drink Champs almost immediately after you get back from Disney.
Right. Immediately. Yeah.
Did you feel like a sense of relief and maybe slightly a different set of anxiety? Did you have a chance to like miss them, given that you just came off this vacation and into work right away?
Missed them when I left.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss them every time, but I do do a good job, and I do this for my sanity, and maybe I don't know, maybe I don't know if this would come off the wrong way, but mentally, when I go off to do work, I try to like not detach, but I put myself in another mode.
Mm.
You know, I just I tell myself my family's safe, my girls got this. You know, now I'm gonna be in this mode. And I kind of detach a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously not fully detached. Of course I'm worried, I care and all that. But if I don't detach myself, I can't do the other stuff I'm doing. I can't put myself in that mode. And then what's the point
Right.
of leaving at all? You know, so that's what I do. I mean, of course I miss them and all that, but I've been pretty good at that.
At locking in and focusing on
what I'm bad at is the like committing to making that move.
Hmm.
And then maybe sometimes the post if something happened while I was gone.
Yeah, there's regret that sets in.
Right. Or if whatever I did was a waste of my time. You know?
So Dave Chappelle, that moment definitely was not a waste of time.
Not a waste of time. Not at all. It was even if the episode were to never come out, let's just say.
Right.
The experience in its totality, from being able to experience that with some of my close friends, with the Drink Champs team, it's kind of like, we're reaping the benefits, of our work.
Right. And creating amazing memories.
And yeah, and just and like, come on, man, like this is like Dave Chappelle, he's an icon.
And Black Star. Let's not forget about that.
No, you can't forget. No, of course. Right. And Mos Def, like he doesn't do interviews, like
right.
For sure. No, Black Star. But I mean, we were in the thing is the reason why I keep referring to Dave Chappelle is because we're in his town. Yeah. He was our host, and so all of that was just so surreal and so dope. And it was like he was giving us like a private like stand-up special because that's what he did. That's how he operates.
Wow.
And he showed us how much he was into like Drink Champs. I don't know how much he's watched it, but he surely acted like he fucks with Drink Champs.
Right.
And it was dope, man. And it was fun. And we got back. Everybody we did our job. We came back in one piece. It was a quick trip. I mean, shit, I wish everything was a private fucking plane because that would make life a lot easier, bro. Don't
worry, bro. We're going to get there, kid.
Nah, man, that shit's expensive as fuck. And
are you worried about the money part?
Not good for the carbon footprint of the world.
It'll be electric by then. Don't worry about it.
But and I have a small airport right next to where my office is. Like people hit me up. They're like, "Yo, let me find out you flew out of Miami." I'm like, that would have been off the chain, bro. I would have rolled out of bed and rolled right back into bed.
Well, that's where I'm going to park my private jet when I do fly to Miami. So get ready.
Dope.
Don't laugh. I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious.
And and now and I mean, by the time this comes out, I'd already done the trip, and now I'm going to Vegas.
Right.
We're supposed to do a live Drink Champs with Mike Tyson.
Ooh, watch
so
that
should be interesting. Yeah.
Don't tell again, him that.
It's bittersweet because it's my girl's birthday the day before I'm leaving, and then it's my birthday the day I'm leaving.
Oof.
So it's like, there is some, you feel bad.
Damn.
But it's work. It's for, it's a paid gig. It's work, it's Tyson, it's all worth it in the end.
I think we're coming near the end, but you mentioned something. I don't know if we want to talk about it now. Or we want to wait till Kay comes back. So you decide. But you were sampling some things on the microdose tip
Yeah, man. I did like I think I did my I think I mentioned that I tried
Yeah.
to microdose, but I don't think nothing like I didn't feel anything. But then my homeboy, which I won't blow him up yet. I don't know because I don't know how that works, but he's
Your
really like
dealer. Your dealer.
no,
Oh,
he's really on that tip. Like he's actually like become like this guru of he grows the mushrooms and he prescribes them basically for people.
he's
And
Dr. Shroom.
yeah, he walks people through it and not people who are trying to do shrooms to on some like leisure shit. Like it's more on some like therapeutic
Oh, okay.
stuff. And and he kind of assesses what you need and why you need it, and then he gives you the milligrams according to that.
So
And
he you sat with him and he kind of diagnosed you and then gave you a prescription?
I mean, it all happened very crazily organic because Redman had posted something about shrooms. Like, this is the thing about shrooms and me personally. Like, I read some articles, I saw some YouTube videos where they're talking about how microdosing helps with like focus and it creates new neural pathways and all this stuff, and that interests me. Like it's not on some psychedelic like high. It's not that at all. I'm always, especially in this age, trying to, and knowing that I have limited time sometimes to work, trying to find ways to focus.
Health
And
hacks.
so,
Health hacks.
Right. So I got very interested in that, but it's like anything else. It's like the minute I was interested, it's like when you want to buy a car, like a new car that you're honing in on buying, you start to see that car everywhere. Then it's like popular culture right now, the shroom stuff. Like everybody's talking about it. So Redman posted something on IG talking about shrooms. Tyson had posted something, and Redman posted whatever. Redman posted, and I commented under. I made a comment about, oh, I'm interested. Like, this is something I'm interested. And my boy, who we talk every so often. He's the homie though, but we hadn't talked in a little while. He saw my comment and then he hits me up. He texts me, but I didn't see the text. And this is the same day that I tried to microdose on my own with some stuff that a friend of mine gave me. And I had been hesitant for about a week or two to take the stuff that my friend gave me. And then I was with my girl and I said, fuck it. And I boom, I put it in I take it. And then I look at my phone right after and his homie saying, yo, I saw your comment on Redman shit. This is what I do now. And I'm like, this is spooky, like this is weird. And I hit him up and he breaks down.
I think your microdose worked. I think what happened was you took the shit, passed out, you didn't realize that you woke up and that text was there.
Nah. And then so it took a while for me to get with him, but his shit looks mad professional. It's like, these capsules he makes himself. And then I took it yesterday and it was interesting.
All right. We'll talk about the experience on the next episode. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. Hopefully we'll have Kay back as well. And please understand something. Your reviews matter. This is like your way of voting without having to go leave your house. Jump on your phone. If you have Apple, it's probably the easiest way. Review us on Apple. Just take a second, give us that 5-star love and share a comment about what you like most about the podcast. Also, if you're in the market, Father's Day is coming fast. So if you or someone you know is looking for the dopest dad bag so that they can stunt and have all the things they need for their kid, flydadgear.com. That's where you want to go. Check it out. It's EFN and I.
Tell them what you're going to throw in there for Father's Day. It's going to be a poster of you and your Speedos.
Act now and get a poster of me and my Speedo. But we get rave reviews on Amazon and at flydadgear.com. Check them out. I think people really have taken full advantage of this bag. It's our first product on FlyDad. And, so far, so ASAP Rocky seemed to like it when it was gifted to him by EFN on Drink Champs. So go take a look. All right, I'll stop there. Any parting words from you, E?
No, man. Just again, condolences, which don't mean anything to the families of the children that were lost and the and the adults, the teachers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. All right, y'all. Till next time.